Welcome back. And the theme of this next panel is New Models of Entrepreneurship. And our first speaker is Mona Arishi. She'll be speaking on positive, sustainable change to increase the emotional, physical, and mental strength of women. Heya Hayeh and Lay Academy founder of Middle East and Africa, Client Center Manager at IBM Corporate Citizenship and Corporate Affairs Manager, IBM Egypt and the Middle East, with more than 30 years with IBM within the management career. Arishi is currently the Middle East Africa Regional Client Centers Manager and supporting the activities of IBM Egypt and Middle East Corporate Citizenship and Corporate Affairs. She's also the director of Heya Hayeh, a social enterprise focused on improving the quality of life for the family in general and the feminine entity specifically. Mona Arishi.
Good evening. I am the first after lunch, so I hope this speech will give you some sort of energy back and to life. Thank you for this excellent introduction. I enjoyed it very much. I just arrived yesterday from Dubai, and then this morning from Cairo. What I feel when I come in this conference with all those excellent women is a lot of positive energy, and this is the energy that started me on my life story with entrepreneurship for two things. First of all, as a corporate person, even an entrepreneur is a corporate citizen, and also on my NGO life. So I will start with the most important thing, which is balance. I love this quote because the intelligence, we think always of intelligence as a career. However, really the woman has her intelligence in her heart. And this is what started my life when I realized that I'm looking for something that I need to find, and I'm not looking with it only with my mental aspect, but with other aspects as well. Along the years, I have undergone a big journey of change. The change happened once there was balance. The first step for balance, as you see with this very nice butterfly, is that it knows where it is. It is very stable, and then the evolution starts. It has the freedom to grow, and the third step is it becomes really this nice and glowing butterfly. Same as any journey for change. This happened to me as well. I was seeking to become a butterfly, but the first step that I realized will help me was balance. So this balance comes when there is really the positive energy that comes from your being emotional, mental, spiritual, moral, stable. All those aspects, when they come into stability, you really start to understand that you are a balanced person. The balance comes, as I said, on 5 aspects. The physical aspects. This was my first step towards balance. I learned about my body. I learned how to become a good, I was a very good sportswoman, and then I also started to know how to eat well and understand what brings in positivity from food that I'm consuming. And then along the journey with IBM, I was very lucky. I had received so many experiences from learning and training. So we got project management, time management, change management, and the management and leadership career enabled me to really understand well how far can I go. And then the emotional side came with a lot of activities that are related to how I'm connecting with my family, with the surrounding, with my friends. Later on, the moral aspect, which is like the area, the stability that brings in everything together, and we're going to learn about morals more from my colleague Alfa here. And then, of course, of the iceberg, which is it needs a lot of base and support from everything else, is the spirituality. This is when this plant, the gray one, becomes this beautiful colored one, because each one of those petals starts to flourish and understand more about ourselves. And as I learned about myself, I started to see the need, not only for myself to continue this journey, but to pass this to others. And the awakening happened when my daughter, she was at that time 6 years old, she told me, please mommy, I want to have all your experience, but quickly. I don't need to go all the activities that you have undergone to reach this stability. So I decided that yes, we do need that. All our girls need that. Let's start by concentrating on the woman. And then I started to read a lot about how sometimes we as women stop ourselves from growing, that we sometimes put our barriers. And this happens everywhere. This happens in the office space, this happens during our growth, this happens in entrepreneurship. How many entrepreneurs, women related to the men? So, and the reason for that is not just because of the environment, and we'll talk about that right now, but it is because we put the barriers among ourselves. So the trip to entrepreneurship starts with the woman herself. This is where the focus starts. How many times women have received fund? And I'm talking about all the levels, all the social levels, that women do receive funds. It's not just about the money. It's about the ability and the capability and the self-belief and the self-confidence that she has in herself, that at one point of time, she starts believing in herself and wow, magic happens. And here is a miracle, and she becomes really a successful entrepreneur. So this journey of stability and balance and knowing about all my aspects, this was the moment I decided that it should be shared. And it should be shared among everybody. Going back to where we are in balance. Remember, for change to happen, we need to have balance, and then freedom for growth, and then afterwards we enable evolution. So, of course, the woman herself has to start, but then we need also to have all the other catalysts around this growth to happen, so she is really, really enabled. So the freedom of growth comes from the cultural aspect, and this is something that takes a long time. And I remember that when I was researching on the topic, I saw how the Egyptian women were during the early Egyptian part, and how developed, and there was nobody seeking equality, because it was not a question, I mean, to be asked. Nobody was seeking equality because it was never a question to be asked. It was already there. There is nothing called inequality. It did not exist like darkness and light. It was not there. When it started, then the quest started. So we need to go back where this started. We need to go back to our roots, to Egyptian women, where they were totally able and free to grow. And we need the support of a lot of the ecosystem around. The growth has to happen. It has to come from the government, from the NGOs, and also from the private sector in the form of CSR activities happening around. So this is the second part that I came in, and I realized how important for the society to also embrace the private sector among itself, and the private sector becomes a major catalyst for change and for support for entrepreneurship for women. Corporate citizenship. This was a lucky stroke in my life when I started having this task assigned to me inside IBM. And by the way, it happened 2011, with the same time the Egyptian revolution happened at that time. So it was 2011, becoming citizenship, corporate citizenship in IBM, and at the same time all the society in Egypt was boiling with this request and quest for freedom. So the voluntary act of any company is based on its core skills. IBM at that time was providing support in a sort of technical aspect for the society. So IBMers working as technical support would give their support to the society. And then we had one of the best experiences that I had in my life, and this experience I'm going to use as a case study very quickly because of the time. And that was when IBM collaborated with the social solidarity, وزارة التضامن, and 6 NGOs, including Human Foundation, So 6 NGOs, and also WAI, we have here Hiba Habib, and 6 NGOs. I remember them now. So البناء الإنساني, WAI, أجيال, and then وزارة التضامن, and there were other 3 NGOs responsible for taking care of the aspects related to the young people. So all of us were able to provide for those young people in the orphanages support that enabled them through the programs each NGO gave, plus the IBM support technically, to really become something, to change. This program is still ongoing till today, and I think this experience was another highlight in my life. So my first realization was when I realized that yes, I need to share all my experiences in my life with everybody. The second realization was how we can really contribute, not only as a job in IBM, but as a person coming out and really sharing the experience alongside all of my life experiences, knowing البناء الإنساني, knowing why, knowing other NGOs that can support the orphanages. And then so here is the case study for هي حياة. هي حياة is the NGO that just been launched only less than 6 months ago. We are providing the support for women in form of bouquets, flower bouquets. And each caliber we are targeting, and by the way, I'm not talking now about a specific class. I'm talking about the classes of women across society. So we have the Lily for young girls, very young girls in schools that needs to be enlightened. They don't know where they are going. And this could be also orphanages, young girls in orphanages. This bouquet will have body, mind, heart, moral, and soul, small programs, just to give her awareness of where she is. So we are trying to give her the need, to fulfill her need. So this young girl, starting in a society, and she's being enabled with so many small programs, but covering body, mind, heart, morals, and soul. And then when she becomes a teenager, she gets the bouquet of the jasmine, because my daughter is called Jasmine, so I chose this name for her. And the jasmine will be providing, again, activities such as in her school. How should she relate to other peers? What about bullying in school? If someone is bullied, especially with girls in that age, there is a lot of bullying happening. So what can she do? How can she respect her morals and her spirituality and understands that, yes, what do I do about that? What about relationship? How am I going to treat my other young men that are sitting beside me? And how can I choose my future? So all those aspects become in a bouquet, especially for the lady at that age. And then later on, the Narcissist is this young lady who just graduated either from college or from university or even from high school, and she's seeking her future. She's looking for aspects of life that she's trying to learn, and she doesn't know what to do with all the cultural restrictions that is around her. So we give enablement, what to do in an interview, how to really present herself, and so on. And then the tulip bouquet is for the businesswoman, how to act, how to express herself in the office. And of course we know about the glass ceiling. There are so many topics that could be covered for the working office coming from a corporate background. I understand a lot. And this special bouquet I have been giving for my colleagues at IBM across the years, ever since 2000 till now. The bouquet for wives, of course, the rose, she needs to be aware of her relationship inside the house with her husband, with her children, with her in-laws, with her parents. It's a lot. So each bouquet would, again, consist of many aspects. Mothers, how to really raise their children, and we are also collaborating with NGOs that are providing activities such as Be Yourself, that gives mothers tools to really understand their kids and then be able to take them from in a journey across and discover themselves and their inner child. Mother-in-laws, our society and the community in Egypt is based on mother-in-laws and mothers and grandmothers. So those needs to be enabled, especially that they are now carrying a load in the raising of this upcoming generation. So the mother is coming from a very old generation and still needs to understand and communicate and reach out for her grandchildren. So this gap, how can we close it? How can this mother become, the grandmother becomes really a good active person in society? So this is where we are now. What we need to do is have and maintain and continue evolving this balance, because at one point of time the balance just goes a bit. So we need to know when we are seeking one area to come back to balance. The understanding and the consciousness of knowing where we are in itself is a very enlightening and high consciousness. Knowing that from this plant, if you look well at this drawing, you will find that it draws its roots from so many important aspects. From having good relationship in life, from maintaining our connection with the spiritual, with the divine. So when we understand this drawing very well, we try to attain the balance that we are seeking. Thank you very much.